Hey there, my favorite people in the world. Well, this is the final story in my Sucker Punch installment video, and it's a doozy. So, not too long ago, on a certain day, we decided to go to the Galleria Mall to see a movie. Now, if anybody remembers, a few months ago, the Galleria Mall had quite the run of gang beatings or gang fights and just plain out bunch of buttheads acting like buttheads inside of a store, and you know, all that stuff. We all saw it on the news if you're familiar with it. So we decided to go to the movie, and so we get to the movie theater, and we're like, man, there's a lot of police officers here. And we're like, wow, you know, that's kind of crazy. I wonder what's going on, you know. But it didn't go very much past that. And we continued on. I dropped them off at the thing. I'm like, yeah, you guys go in to get the tickets. I'll go get a parking spot. So I drop them off at the front door. I go get a parking spot. And as I pull in, I see these two fellas walk into their car. And they get in their car, and I'm like, bonus. I'm like, VIP spot. You know, it's right there in front. I'm like, sweet. So I'm sitting there, and I'm waiting. Now these two guys, they get in the car. The car starts up. You can see the stoplights, the taillights. Car starts up, and it's just sitting there. Okay. So now if anybody knows the inside of the Galleria parking ramp, it's kind of wide. And so I kind of pull over to the right, and I'm waiting. So then these two cars pull up behind me as I'm waiting. And they're just sitting there, and I'm like, what are these people doing? I don't get what they're doing. They could easily go around me. You could fit easily another car, maybe two, past me. So they're just sitting there, and I hear this beep. So I'm like, there's no way anybody's beeping for me to get out of the way behind me. They could go around me. Like I said, there's so much room to go around me, it's not even funny. So I'm like, maybe it's somewhere else in the parking ramp. No big deal. So I'm waiting, and I'm going, what the heck are these two dummies doing, man? They got in their car, you know, however many minutes ago. It's just sitting there. And I'm like, what the heck? So in the meantime, the first car goes by, you know, passes me. And the second car goes by, and it's this minivan filled with these dudes. And the dude yells out the window, what the F, man? You know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what? I'm like, F you. You can go around me, whatever. I'm like, geez, I can't believe, you know, they act like I'm blocking the whole entire road off here. Entryway. So, I'm like, whatever. So now I'm sitting there, and I'm waiting for these two dumbs to pull out. So I'm like, forget this. I'm not waiting anymore. This is madness. So I start pulling away, and I look in the car, and I see him. And what I didn't see before that was there two women that got in the car, and they're all on their phone. You know, you can see them holding their phones up. They're all glowing. They're probably yelping or who knows what. And I'm like, yeah, no wonder. They're all just interneting. So I start pulling away, and I'm like, I'll go find another parking spot. So as I'm pulling away, and I'm going up the parking ramp way, looking for another spot, I see these, I'll say 7 to 8 dudes, whatever it was, somewhere at least around there, come walking around the corner at the end of the parking ramp, and they're all like, yo, you know, like, they're pointing, like, there's that dude. And I'm like, oh no, here we go. And then what happens is they all kind of go and converge and walk across the parking ramp. Now they're blocking the entire way through the parking ramp. And I'm like, okay, this is what's gonna go on. Okay, so I'm going 2 miles an hour. I figured a couple things could happen here. One, they block me off and I stop and the story continues one way, or I'm going 2 miles an hour and I don't stop, and it's up to them to get out of my way because I'm in a car and they're not. So I decide that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to keep driving. They can get out of the way. If they don't move, I'm going to bump them out of the way. Okay? Well, they move. And as they move, the one dude comes past my driver's side window and just blasts it like he's trying to break my window or something. Just punches it, probably the side of his fist, his forearm, whatever, but he hits it like, as hard as he could. So now it no longer matters that it's like 7-8 people and just myself, because Doug turns into the Incredible Hulk, right? I'm a raging lunatic now. You already tried punking me off once. Okay, now you're blocking my car. You're acting like an idiot. And now you're going to punch my car window. Okay? So I stop. And I unroll my window. And I have a bunch of words. And some of these words are explicit. Some of them are strung together in sentences which state how I think they're a bunch of whatevers, because there's 8 of them and there's just me. And if it was just you, you wouldn't be punching my window. You wouldn't be trying to block my car off, right? Because I'll kill you. I'll beat the living daylights out of you. This is what, I'm a raging lunatic now because all this is going on, right? Just trying to go to the movies. So I got my window rolled down. And the dude is kind of like standing a little bit further away, but like to the left. So he's not right in my face, He's maybe about 7 feet, 8 feet away. And he's like, yeah, get out of the car, whatever. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah. So, you and your other buddies, that's a smart thing for me to do. Not that what I'm doing right now is very smart, but you know what I'm saying. So I'm like, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, whatever. You bunch of tough guys, this and that and the other thing. And I'm running my mouth. And as I'm running my mouth, one of his buddies sneaks around the back of the car, opens up my passenger side window door, and blasts me in the back of the head. There's your sucker punch. Now I turn to look, but the car door is just wide open. No one's there. I turn back and them dudes are darting down the parking ramp. So now I fly up and I see this parking spot right in front of you that opens up in the meantime. I fly up, I pull in it. I'm like, this is not going to happen. It's not ending this way. Fly up, get out of my car, and I start running down the parking ramp after these dudes. And in the meantime, I'm calling 911, and this chick's like, look, she's like, you're not the first person to call today. There's all kinds of stuff going on there. I don't know what the heck's going on there, hence all the police officers. And I said, well, there's a cop right here. She's like, okay, good. I go, I'm going to talk to him. So I talk to him, and I tell him what's up. And he's like, okay, let's go get him. I'm like, bet. So as we're walking to the door, he proceeds to, in a roundabout way, talk me out of this. And what he's doing is he's asking me, I'm ready to do this. I say, yeah. He goes, good. We're going to go in. You're going to point him out. I'm going to arrest him. You're going to come downtown with us. You're going to press charges. Then you're going to go to court. And you're going to do this. And you're going to do that. And you're ready to do all that, right? And I'm like, well, I am going to the movies right now. Well, here's the deal. You got to go and do this. Otherwise, nothing's going to happen. And I'm like, I tell him, I go, you know what, officer, excuse my language and excuse my attitude, but, this just happened to me, and I got sucker punched in the back of the head by a bunch of punks. this is effing BS. You know, I'm like, this is BS. Why do I feel like, why should I be the one that's inconvenienced here? Do you know what I mean? I ain't do crap. So he stops at the door. We stop at the door before we walk in. And he looks at me and he goes, so it's up to you. If you want to continue on with this, we'll walk through that mall and we'll find these guys. If not, well, I'm just going to have to tell you to have a good evening. So I had to have a good evening. Because what am I supposed to do? You know what I mean? I can't just bust. I can't just do this. They're in there waiting for me for my movie theater tickets. We're going to see a movie. So I had to let them go. I walked in there, you know, I walk upstairs. The security guard's in the middle of this melee. You know, all these people, he's trying to throw people out. I go in the movie theater. I kind of text message her, telling her what's going on. Yeah, that's what happened. Yep. And funny thing is the movie that we were going to see was Exodus, which is obviously a religious-based movie. And the day this happened was the day after Christmas. The beautiful, wonderful, spirited, great time of year after Christmas. And yours truly gets sucker punched in the back of the head whilst sitting in his own car. What a great post-Christmas present. Yeah. So, you know, that's that. So, after that happened, there was a couple other, or at least one other little story of Galleria shenanigans. Yeah, and it has quite the reputation over there around the Christmas time, and with the punching and the beating and the jumping and the just booty head actions. So, well, I hope everybody has a wonderful morning and enjoys the story, and I shall talk to you later.